louder, or do you need my volume up? Sing louder? Okay. Too bad, but it's the life you lead. You're so ahead. Okay, cool.
Hello, everyone. I greet you all as relatives today. As we say in Cherokee, ni God gusti dadada ni. We are all related. And we honor our kinship to each other as human beings, as well as to the land, waters, plants, and animals who provide for us, and for whom we are all obligated to care. Although I'm not indigenous to these lands, as a citizen of the Cherokee Nation and an instructor of Native Studies, I'd like to say a few words to honor the lands on which we assemble today as indigenous homelands. Today is a joyous occasion, but as we know in our communities and nations, joyous occasions are often preceded by struggle. Those struggles, whether they are our own individual ones, those of our families and communities, or the memory of our ancestors' struggles, are what make us who we are. We carry them with us, even as we set out with hope and determination to shape our futures. And so I ask all of us to take a moment to reflect on the violence and sacrifice that preceded the establishment of this university and the state of Colorado, and to honor the traditional territories of the Ute, Cheyenne, and Arapaho nations. But also to acknowledge the resilience and continued vitality of indigenous peoples today as we work to reestablish connections with our homelands, revitalize our knowledge systems and languages, and collectively work to create a world that refuses exploitation and injustice in solidarity with all our relations. Wodo, thank you. And so next, our department chair would like to welcome everyone, but before that, I'd like to call up my colleague and associate chair of undergraduate studies, Dr. Jessica Ordaz, to help me say a few words of gratitude on behalf of the department. He didn't know this was coming. So being department chair, as some of you may know, is hard and demanding work. Dr. Arturo Aldama has served the department in this capacity for 2 3-year terms. He's stepping down as of this summer, so today we wish to acknowledge and celebrate his admirable service. Arturo, I've learned a lot from observing your indomitable, swift, and committed style of leadership. Your advocacy for the department and our community is unwavering, as is your dedication to our mission. Furthermore, you handled the unbelievable challenges of leading our department during the pandemic with tenacity, always prioritizing our collective well-being.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for your guidance, mentorship, and unwavering support, Arturo. On behalf of the Department of Ethnic Studies, we thank you for your steadfast leadership and your commitment to our community, especially during this last year, as you supported our efforts to speak truth to power and stance against genocide. The department has put together a small gift of appreciation from local BIPOC and Cutie BIPOC-owned businesses, including a Sagrado Corazon blanket from Yam's World of Color, and items from Cultura Chocolate, Cabrona Coffee, 8th Generation, and Whittier Cafe. Thank you.
Oh my gosh. All right, cool. Well, I'll steal everyone now. I got see. Oh, well. Yeah, I was not expecting that, so anyway, qué pena. I'm all like embarrassed, so, but thank you. It's been the honor and joy of my life, frankly, to fight for our department in this PWI and, really, really do our very best so that our department and our amazing faculty, students, affiliates, our super hardworking and underpaid staff get the respect that we absolutely deserve. Most of our faculty in our department are award-winning faculty, and most of our students, in fact, all of our students are just absolute leaders on all fronts. So that's why I kept, I went ahead and signed up for another tour of duty, to use a military term, I guess, right? Just because, it's easy to fight for people that you respect and care about, and it's easy to fight for our department that prides itself on collegiality, support, and doing really, really cutting edge scholarly work as well as community work, and bridging, if you will, the divide between the quote-unquote Ivy Trower and the communities that we're all part of. So muchas gracias, really from the bottom of my heart. So thank you. Okay. Gracias. So today, for all of us in the Department of Ethnic Studies, today is the day that we all look forward to every year. We're usually like the students kind of exhausted by the end of the spring semester with just all the deadlines and pressures and all of this stuff. But what keeps us just going is that graduation is just around the corner. And part of why this is such an importante day for us is that our students, you all that are here as estudiantes, are just phenomenally inspiring human beings. The way that you're practicing academic and community leadership, the way that you're thinking about some of the ideas and some of the theories, some of the histories, some of the work that you have been engaging with us throughout the years, and then bringing it down into the quote-unquote real world, and then going back into the communities that we're all part of, and bring this kind of vision, this social justice lens, this lens that really prioritizes the communities that we're from, that prioritizes what we call an intersectional politics. That means calling out ongoing issues of white supremacy and racism, calling out ongoing issues of patriarchal and misogynistic violence towards women or female-identified human beings, calling out ongoing homophobia and transphobia, as it seems to be even more kind of exalted in certain states of the United States these days, and really bringing that lens of true needed social change. Also, a lot of our estudiantes here, like us as faculty, are going to be, either in the first generation along with your brothers and sisters, or you yourself, of getting a college degree. And that's a huge paso. That's a step. You're, in a sense, kind of creating and setting, in a sense, a precedent for your familia. So for the next generations, they'd be like, oh, my tia or my tío or whoever, my aunt and uncle or my older brother or whatever, got their degree at the University of Colorado Boulder. We also, all of you as students, have a phenomenal track record. I know most of you are like, I'm done with school. I don't want to ever think about another paper or final exam forever. I'm traumatized, right? And I hear that, right? But once the trauma of, graduating kind of calms down, I really hope that you all think about continuing on, getting your MAs, your PhDs. As I keep telling students that I interact with, we need more activist lawyers in the world, lawyers that actually care about oppressed communities, care about women, care about the environment, care about people of color, care about the things that you care about, but they can also litigate and provide legal support for communities kind of under siege, in a sense, unfortunately, right? So the other thing that's really important for us as a Department of Ethnic Studies is that we really pride ourselves on having literally lifelong relationships with you all. So I still get reach outs from students that I worked with 15, even 20 years ago. I'm like, do I remember you? I hope I do, right? To just, reach out because they finally decided they want to do X and Y, to go to grad school, or they're maybe running for local politics, or something exciting is going on in their life. So for all of you, como estudiantes as students, we're always going to be here for you, always, to help you in whatever it is that we can support your empowerment, support your growth, and because we know that by supporting you all, we're also supporting your familias and the communities that you're part of. So this is the day that we love. And then the other reason that we love this day is that we've spent a while kind of getting to know you in our classes and, sometimes doing some kind of, community-based kinds of projects, right? And we get to be in awe of how smart and insightful and brilliant and committed and, all of these things that you are. But now we get a chance to actually meet the people that are close to you, your familia, your close friends, your partners, your circle of support, right? Because as we know, the journey for academic and community excellence isn't just, a solitary journey. There's literally a village of folks behind us. So for us, the thing that we love is at the end, be able to chit-chat with your familia. Hopefully they'll tell us some embarrassing stories about you and your kids, right? We can kind of laugh, right? And just get to know you all a little bit more. So anyway, this day is really about you all. So with no further ado, we'll go ahead and begin the hooding ceremony and the graduate portion of this. Muchas gracias, bienvenidos, and excited to get to know you all. Bye. For a second.
Hello again. It's an honor to recognize the hard work and profound accomplishment of our PhD graduate for 2024, Ale Portillos. Our PhD program in Critical Ethnic Studies provides students with broad training to help shape and support their brilliant independent research. Through our graduate seminars and the mentorship of our committed faculty members, students study the intersectional and relational workings of race, ethnicity, culture, indigeneity, gender, class, sexuality, religion, disability, and legal status in local, regional, and global contexts. Our doctoral students model the very best of ethnic studies in their cutting-edge and rigorous research that will go on to shape the field in profound ways. The work of our PhD graduate this year represents what our field strives to accomplish through decolonial and critical scholarship. Their primary advisor, Arturo Aldama, will have the opportunity to say a few words about them, but I'm compelled to say what an honor it has been to work with you, Ale, as Associate Chair of Graduate Studies. You left a profound mark on this department and on me, and I'm ever grateful for your dedication to your important work and to this program. So Arturo, would you please come to the stage?
So for those who don't know Alejandra Portillos, Alejandra, you epitomize what it means to be in humility and in service to community, both as an activist and as a scholar. And that your work is always, who you hold as most, in a sense, accountable is to the communities that you're writing about. And so Alejandra's dissertation project is just absolutely brilliant. There's already a chapter coming out in print, another chapter that hopefully will be coming out in print fairly soon. And it's really, I won't say the whole title, but it's grounded, intersectional kind of politics. And it's looking specifically at the ongoing violences of ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, the ongoing ways in which communities, especially the Latinx, the Afro-Indigenous communities, continually to be demonized by politicians, unfortunately on both sides of the aisle. They don't seem to demonize immigrants from Europe. It seems more from folks of color, right? And all of the stereotypes of criminality, racism, hostility, just all of these just stereotypes that actually have been, circulating in the kind of dominant colonial discourses for literally 500 plus years. The stereotypes of the savage, in a sense, it's going to somehow destroy the civilized, right? So it's just outrageous that these tropes that were used 500 plus years ago to quote unquote pseudo-justify the horrific genocide and theft and enslavement of human beings to bolster the growth of European empires and then later Anglo empires continues in full force today. What Alejandra is doing is not only doing phenomenally important work to intervene into the discourses and discussions on the rights of human beings that are detained and are, suffering with this kind of vagaries of deportation politics, or to quote you, deportainment. But it's also specifically focusing on folks that have to endure, and I hate the word victim, so it's survivor, to have to survive and endure even other layers of violence that are connected to homophobia, transphobia. So it's white supremacy, homophobia, transphobia, by really tunneling in on how to advocate, support, and protect the rights of LGBTQ identified, especially trans identified, indigenous and Afro-Indigenous migrants that are caught up. Unfortunately, state of Colorado, GeoIce is one of the prominent private prisons that makes a phenomenal amount of money off of, in many cases, the absolute unlawful detention of human beings. And so I hope you get a chance to talk to Dr. Portillos about their cutting edge work. All in on this, on something just super exciting, and we're just super happy for you, Alejandra. Alejandra, had several job offers and decided to stay close to us and is staying here in Denver. So Regis University has recently attained what's called HSI status, Hispanic Serving Institution, meaning that over 25% of the estudiantes there are Latinx identified. And so they did a search to bring in a Latinx-focused scholar that and so I think of all the ways you've built community and support here at CU Boulder, and I think the students and the larger community in Regis is just, it's going to be an amazing experience for them to help encourage them to develop who they are as kind of social justice warriors and critical scholars. So let's give a huge round of applause to Alejandra. And then we're going to do the formal hooding. So you want to come on up, Alejandra, please? Let's welcome Dr. Alejandro Portillos. Woo! Woo-hoo-hoo! Doctor. Woo, 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 woo. Woo-hoo-hoo! You did it. All right. Okay. So just to kind of have the program kind of move along, I'm going to go ahead and start inviting some of our undergrads here, as well as I want to do a recognition on our valedictorians. So muchas gracias. Yeah. All right. Cool. You're off the hook. You're off the hook. So Dr. Portillo. So all right. So in ethnic studies, we do things a little bit differently, as you probably figured out by now. And so one of the things that we do in terms of is to really rethink valedictorians in terms of what is important to our values. right? And so the way we think about valedictorians, which is usually just GPA and that's it, is it's really about academic excellence and community leadership. And so within that, we also have a oh yeah, sure, yeah. Well, let me finish the valedictorian thing, and then we'll have Ali come back here. And so anyway, with this in mind, so what we do is just really connected to kind of our collective communitarian values. And so with this in mind, rather than just one person based on the GPA, if we could have Rumi Natansi please stand up. Great. Gabriela Mejia, please stand up. And then where's Micaela at? Micaela, where's Micaela? Micaela, yay, all right. So these are our 3 valedictorians doing phenomenal community leadership as well as academic leadership. Plus Gabriela is also a magna cum laude honors. And so please, please, please. So Gabriela is a filmmaker and an ethnic studies student, and Gabriela's honors project was a phenomenal film about Los Seis and what it means to be a Chicanx, Latinx student on this campus, knowing that former students have literally died to provide spaces for the Latino community on this campus. So felicidades, you all are phenomenal, phenomenal rock stars, Rumi, Michele, Gabriela. And Alejandra, I apologize. So come on up if you want to say anything. Go for it. Yep.
To be honest, I thought I got away from this. But no, I am thankful to have the space, and thank you for the wonderful introductions, Dr. Carroll and Dr. Aldama. And shout out our department. All of the wonderful people that are in it, from professors to lecturers to staff to students. I'm so proud and just very grateful to be a part of this community. And although I will be 20, 30 minutes away, I'm so glad to still be close by and remain connected, because I don't think I could have done this dissertation without y'all. There was many points where I was like, I'm out. And Profe Aldama would be like, no, we need your research, we need your voice, stay in it. And so I'm deeply grateful to you all. And of course, to my familia, my friends, my community, back there taking up that space, my partner. You all have sustained me, brought me joy, fed me when I forgot to feed myself. And just brought joy and have been a constant reminder of why I'm doing this work. And I hope this makes the ancestors proud. Hopefully they're in this room or wherever they are. I'm going to leave it there because I will start crying. But thank you. And thank you to you all. And congrats to all the grads.
So if I could have Heidi Rosa Collin come to the stage, Cristel Marvan, and Gabriela Mejia, por favor. Yep. Cristel? Mm-hmm. All right. So wait for you all. Hey, ¿cómo están? Hi. Wow, qué elegante. Wow. Beautiful, like flowers, que no? Wow, okay. Muy bien, so the 3 students that we're going to give the certificate right now. So where's Heidi? Hi, Heidi. Heidi was was on the part of the Leonard Baca scholarship for 2 years and working with the Bueno Center. Leonard Baca is just a phenomenal Chicano leader. Always had the kind of Pachuco look, always, which I respected. The big, hair, and was able to get a lot of money to support a lot of folks, especially like familias that are farm workers here in Colorado, to provide educational opportunities and so on for their sons and daughters to be able to attend the university. And Heidi, what I can say about Heidi is that you're stubborn. You don't back down. You will keep fighting, no matter what. So felicidades and congratulations. And we'll talk about grad school. Yeah?
Yes,
Liz?
for sure.
Yeah?
Thank you.
Cristel is a phenomenal writer and was active in the Pi Lambda Chi sorority and is very, very committed to health, salud, the health in our community. And so we're excited to continue to support you on your journey, Cristel. And our community needs more compassionate promotoras de salud, health providers, and I think you're perfectly poised to provide that support. So, felicidades. Yeah.
Gracias.
There you go. And then, yeah, Gabriela, please come say hi to her, and you can maybe send the link to your films. Yes, Gabriela is a phenomenal filmmaker. The film that Gabriela did on El Seis is beautiful, and you did a more recent film based on your study abroad experiences working with the Mayan community in Mexico, right? And so, yeah, Gabriela is just a phenomenally brilliant artist, filmmaker, writer, leader, and just a kind, warm, and just super creative and visionary human being. Felicidades, Gabriela. Yep. All right, that's enough of me spilling tea and mixing up the order. So.
Can I have Rumi and Ari here? Okay. I'm Nishant. I'm a faculty member here. I'm an assistant professor, and it's my real pleasure and honor to introduce Rumi and Ari. So I'll start with Rumi first. I'll get yours. So Rumi, as Arturo said, is a valedictorian and just finished a brilliant honors thesis entitled Intentionally Iranian, Belonging, the Iranian Monolith and Solidarities within the Iranian Diaspora in Colorado. It was my honor to supervise her as for her thesis, and her thesis, we've been working on this, she's been working on this, I've just been supervising for the last year or so, where in the thesis, this is the first ever academic study of Iranian diaspora in Colorado. So I think that's in itself is a major accomplishment. In the thesis, Rumi highlights the varying ways Iranian diaspora experience and navigate racism here, but more importantly showcases how Iranians intentionally shape their identities through forging community and fostering radical solidarities with each other and beyond the Iranian community. For this, she won the Undergraduate Research Opportunities Fund last year, interviewed Iranians in Colorado in the last few months, and then successfully defended with summa cum laude, which is a real high honor. And I'm just really proud that I got to be part of this journey with Rumi and see see you finish successfully. In addition, in the last year, Rumi has been named the Savitt Scholar by the Undergraduate Research Opportunities Fund, a 2023-24 CU Student Leader of the Year by the Center for Leadership, and recently has been awarded the Arts and Sciences Jacob van Eck Scholars Award for exceptional undergraduate achievements and community contributions. In addition to all of these, this is a long list of things. In addition to this, Rumi is not just a brilliant scholar, but a really amazing organizer, deeply connected to her community on campus and off campus, and so has been organizing, was involved in founding an affinity group, Boulder for Iran, which is aimed at raising awareness of organizing for and solidarity with the current revolution, women, life, freedom happening in Iran, which has been ongoing for the last 2 years, and Rumi has been really, really, really central on campus and off campus to highlight what's happening in Iran and what it means for us in the US and connections with Iran, for Iranians, but also non-Iranians in the US, and how our relationship with Iran. Then Rumi has asked to share this message with all of us today, and I'm just going to read in first person. I've had the most incredible experience in Ethnic Studies department at CU. The people I've met, the knowledge I've gained, and the growth I've experienced. I'm internally grateful and remain constantly inspired. My greatest wish is everyone can have an experience. Sorry, my greatest wish is that everyone can experience this life-changing experience at some point in their lives. It is a privilege to learn, synthesize, and discuss this material. I'm filled with reverence and hope. Thank you for sharing that. And then just on a personal note, we've been working for the last year and a half, and it's just been so amazing to witness young scholars produce scholarship. It's for those of you who we write and think about the world constantly seems to be on fire, especially in the last few years, and in this time, to be able to sit down and not only just think and write, but create ideas that can help us to think of a different world, just really, really inspiring to be part of those journeys. And so to witness Rumi do this as things have been unfolding in Iran, but also in the greater Middle East, and specifically everything happening in Palestine, to see scholars who can think critically about the world and also give us tools to imagine something else, right? Some other worlds. It's just been so humbling to be part of this. So I'm going to miss our weekly conversations and weekly chats, but I hope you come back to grad school, and then we can continue our conversations, right? So. Okay, next is Ari. So Ari Bahar Matsa is graduating with a major in ethnic studies and minor in music with concentration in vocal performance. She was a student research assistant for ritual arts pedagogy at the Rap Lab for the last, 2 years, 3 years? 2 years, right? Okay. And so Ari was in my class this semester, Disability Justice class, and this was the first time Ari was a student of mine, but I've had the honor of witnessing Ari grow as a performer, as an activist, as a scholar for the last few years, and it's really brilliant it's always such an amazing experience when I already know students who are doing amazing work outside and then they come to the classroom, right? It's nervous. I was nervous initially. I was like, Ari is going to be in my class. What can I teach Ari, right? But I think in the last semester, it's been amazing to have you in the class and for all the contributions Ari has made in the class, but also I know how deeply Ari has been connected to communities as a performer, as a scholar, and as an activist, right? Both on campus and off campus. And so many cool projects that Ari has been involved in the last few years for creating, again, spaces for BIPOC folks, for academically, intellectually, but also to share cultural practices and also create culture, right? And so we are all going to witness Ari perform later in the program today, so I'm really, really excited about that. And Ari is also moving to Los Angeles next week, has to pursue a career in music and cinema production, which is phenomenal. As when Arturo was talking about how we need more lawyers, I think we also need more cultural producers, especially people who can give new stories, right? Stories that communities know but never see the limelight. And I'm just really excited that Ari would be in a position where and create stories about your communities, but also other communities that you intersect with, right? So and also give us the tools to imagine something else, right? And then Ari has asked to share this note, which I'm going to read in first person. I'm grateful for my family for immigrating to give me the opportunity to pursue an education. As an Iranian-American woman, education is a fundamental aspect of liberating my mind. I'm also grateful for the RAP research team, as they've assisted greatly in my evolution and growth as a musician and a community member. So please give me help. Let us give a big round of applause for Ari. Okay, Enrique?
Buenas tardes, good afternoon, salam alaikum. I hope everybody's doing well in this joyous moment. I want to recognize our staff folks, Joanne and Gij and the students who have been working tirelessly around the clock on multiple fronts. And you're, as I've always said, you're the backbone, so thank you very much. Quiero invitar a los ancestros, ancestras, invite the ancestors in this moment to sit with us, to join us, to drink with us, to eat with us, to clap with us. Because when we think about community, sacrificing in community, sacrificando en el contexto de comunidad, los ancestros, las ancestras son importantes. The sacrifices of our students in their week in, week out, semester in, semester out, with the academic papers, presentations, el sacrificio de los estudiantes cada semana, cada semestre, cada año, con sus papeles académicos, con sus trabajos de presentación, con sus investigaciones, could not happen without their family. And so the sacrificios de la familia, and so part of our community, even though we don't know a lot of the parents, a lot of the extended family, we know that the young people that came to us came from strong, resilient families. And so I want to thank the families, agradecer a las familias, a los papás, las mamás, los abuelas, las abuelas, por el sacrificio por mandarnos a estos estudiantes tan brillantes y tan comprometidos. I also want to just take a moment to recognize the sacrifices of those who came before us. And Dr. Aldama, a few other people have mentioned Los Seis de Boulder. 50 years ago, 6 Chicanx students were murdered, assassinated here just around the campus. They were student activists in 1974. In May, actually, in a couple of weeks, we'll mark the 50th anniversary. I'm not recalling their names right now, but they're collectively known as Los Seis de Boulder, the 6 of Boulder who were assassinated. These were strong, committed student activists, estudiantes comprometidos, activistas que fueron asesinados hace 50 años. Y ellos abrieron las puertas para que nosotros estuviéramos aquí. And they opened the doors for us to be here. So el sacrificio and the sacrifice goes way back. We come from a long tradition of critical intellectual work. Tenemos una tradición fuerte una tradición intelectual muy crítica, muy política, muy comprometida, y viene desde hace mucho tiempo, incluyendo los 6 de Boulder. So es importante reconocer de dónde venimos y a dónde vamos. Let me bring up here. Thank you. Gracias. Luis Martínez. ¿Está Luis aquí? Vení. Devin Manuel Encinias. Trinity Eden Vigil. And last but not least, Michaela René Valenzuela. Empezando con Luis. ¿Dónde está la familia de Luis? Aquí. Mucho gusto, bienvenidos, bienvenidas. Luis is a first-generation Mexican-American Chicano scholar. He was recipient of the George Rivera Scholarship. He's also a member of the a recipient of the College of Arts and Science Honors Program. He was also a member of the Capital Fellows for Colorado Latino Leadership Advocacy and Research Organization called CLARO. And Luis wants to attend law school. Luis took my class maybe 2 years ago, 3 years ago. It was during COVID, I believe. And Luis and I connected over a lot of the issues that we covered in class around Chicanx, Mexican-American, Mexican migration issues, and the history of U.S.-Mexico relationships. And his mom would sometimes sit in the Zoom, if I remember correctly, to listen on to some of the lectures and conversations that we had. So that was a wonderful commitment to community. So felicidades, Luis. Trinidad Eden Vigil. Trinity has studied abroad in South Korea. She studied abroad in the República Dominicana. She's also a CLARO fellow, and has interned with the Conservation Colorado, which is one of the biggest environmental organizations in the state. She's also has been accepted into the bachelor and master's degree through a collaborative work between education and ethnic studies. We call it the BAM program. So I think you're going to finish that next year, and with her master's. So she's continuing her education and with her master's in education. She's also one of the lead instructors for the Student Academic Success Center. You see the thread, the common thread here, right? Commitment to the common good. That's fundamental to our program. El compromiso al bienestar de la comunidad alrededor. And she wants to continue working in a PhD program. She's not sure whether it's going to be education or ethnic studies or a combination of both, focusing on Chicana pedagogies. She's the first to go to college in her community, but she comes from a strong tradition of powerful women and grandparents and grandmothers, strong Chicana women. And this degree is as much hers as it is yours, to la familia de Trinity. And I just want to point out real quick, when Trinity came to my class, I took note of her name, Vigil, which means to observe, to keep watch, to understand. And so, and she's done all of that and more. So congratulations, Trinity. Oh, this is nice. We next have Devin Manuel Encinias. Devin is one of the key important student leaders in the Chicanx student organization, UMAS y Mecha. He has been fundamental and steadfast in his commitment to Chicanx Latinx community on campus. Everybody knows who he is. He's highly respected. And because of his leadership and the leadership of others in UMAS y Mecha, they have been one of the most important allies of the Palestinian student struggle here on campus and in Palestine. UMAS y Mecha stands for United Mexican American Student Organization, and Mecha stands for Movimiento Estudiantil Chicano de Aztlán. He's also an important instructor and student advisor for the AQETSA program, which is a summer residential academic cultural political program. Last 2 weeks in the summer, bringing in Chicanx, Latinx students from all over the state. In fact, Devin was a student that came from his high school to that program, and that program was instrumental in motivating him to come to CU. And then he turned around and became one of the teachers and instructors in the program. He's a double major in ethnic studies and political science. He's a published poet, and in a few minutes we'll get to hear one of his powerful poetic works. He's also part of the CU's Honors Journal 2023, and was awarded the Mr. Majestic 24 from the fraternity Nu Gamma chapter of Sigma Lambda Gamma, or something like that. He plans to work for a nonprofit in Denver in the service of his community, and plans on taking a couple years to prepare his graduate school application to go back to grad school. He is extremely grateful for his loving family. Where's his family at? Familia, welcome. Gracias. For such a loving, community-supportive family. Plus, he wants to honor the life and memory of his big brother, Jaden Michael Calloway. May he rest in peace. Skobas y que viva Uma si mecha. Last but not least, Michaela Renee Valenzuela. Michaela is a first-generation Chicano student from Northside, Denver. Remember that, Northside. She has ties to Pueblo, Colorado, and Chihuahua, Mexico. Where's your family at? Bienvenidos. Que viva Delicias y los abuelitos. She's been working with unhoused youth community. That tradition keeps going. And she plans on continuing to work with the unhoused and other marginalized communities in the area. She wants to continue her work in grad school. She's going to move to, the plan is to move to Houston, Texas, and work closely with Chicanx Mexicano migrant communities there. She's receiving her BA in Ethnic Studies and Political Science with the particular certificate in Latin American Latinx Studies. She says that one of the most important things for her is to interrogate Eurocentric global north and neoliberal embeddedness in our everyday lives. She believes in developing a critical mind. And one of the things about Michaela was always after class asking me very pointed questions, and not even after class, sometimes at receptions when we're having a good time, and she would come after me, she goes, Profe, what about that article that you were supposed to give me? Always thinking, always seeking to interrogate. She wants to continue her graduate work in political science along the U.S.-Mexico border and U.S. Latin American politics and Mexican-American Chicanx history. She's also a youth counselor for the Aquetza program, same as Devin, the summer residential program. She wants to pursue, she's not sure if she wants to pursue a Juris Doctor degree or Doctor of Philosophy in American Studies or Mexican-American Chicanx Studies. She's thankful to her community and have been lucky to be part of this community on campus and with her family and friends and professors. She also wants to recognize Los Seis de Boulder, who came before, the 6 Chicano activists who were killed at the hands of this university. So congratulations to Michaela Valenzuela. So just to finish off, I want to say that they don't know this, but I come to love them so much, and they make my job as a professor a beautiful, wonderful experience week in, week out. Not just the ones that are standing here, but all the students who come before us. And I think I speak for my colleagues. It's one of the beauties of our profession to be able to be with brilliant students who are committed to their community and developing the mind. So thank you very much.
Hi, everyone. I am Sean O'Neill. I'd like to bring Lindsay Baker and Kyrie Manns up to the podium, please. Okay, we're going to start with Lindsay Maya Baker. We talk a lot about praxis in our department and our courses, which is, taking theory and methodology and actually applying it and operating it in our communities. And Lindsay just exudes that. It's been really impressive working with Lindsay, watching her grow, and I'm so proud and excited for her and everything that's about to come for her and her family. So, in addition to being honored today by the Department of Critical Ethnic Studies, Lindsay also minored in education. Since June 2023, Lindsay has worked as a youth support staff at Together TGTHR in Boulder, which is an organization aimed to end youth homelessness. This past fall and spring semester, Lindsay volunteered and interned at Boulder Prep High School. I was the director of that internship course, and just all of the 8 students that I got to work with, it was just amazing. I didn't have to do much. They just did it all. They just ran with it. So I was just kind of there in the background, and that's just a beautiful thing to see folks take initiative like that. Next year, Lindsay plans to take the year off from school in hopes of teaching English or securing work in another country for the year. I'm glad you're taking that time off, because sometimes you gotta just, right? Yeah. After that, in the fall of 2025, Lindsay hopes to get into graduate school in New York City to earn a master's degree in social work. I don't think that will be a problem for Lindsay at all. And she is eternally grateful for her parents supporting her through everything that she does. Where are your folks at? Yeah. Wonderful, wonderful. All right, next we have Kyrie Mans. There are not a lot of African diasporic, African American students or professors on this campus, so it warms my heart and brings me so much joy to see young Black folk take this next step in their lives. It is so important to our overall society, let alone this campus. So thank you for doing this and sticking with it. Appreciate you, brother. Yeah, thank you. Kyrie is thankful for his family, loved ones. There we go. And everyone that helped along the way. He also wants to give a shout out to CU football, Coach Prime and them folks over there. The great state of Colorado, and thank you again, brother. Appreciate you. Yeah. Okay. You've been waiting for this.
Let's get to it. Let's get to it.
All right, if Dr. Esenyek could now come to the podium.
Good afternoon. I would like to call Trinity Ornelas. And Trevor Eli Gomez. We have an African saying that if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. So this is the journey of all of us, and I'm happy to see these students graduate today. I've had Trinity twice in my graduate seminars and Trevor once. Okay? I'm going to start with Trinity. She's quite an accomplished scholar, double majoring with community and leadership engagement. She's been president of the Multicultural Greek Council. She's been part of 2 research collectives, a teaching assistant with the Public Achievements, counselor with AKETSA, Academic Summer Program, circle keeper with the Denver Healing Generations, and she studied abroad in Southeast Asia. This is what Trinity would like to say. Thank you to the Ethnic Studies Department for being as radical as possible within the institution. Specific offerings of gratitude to Dr. Awan Ature, to Dr. Angelica Lawson, to Professor Sepulveda, to Professor Nishant, for sharing wisdom, the wisdom they embody, fostering community, and being extremely patient and supportive. A huge shout out to Dr. Niek, that's me, in case you forgot, for creating the space for students to bring their whole selves to the classroom, along with teaching in a way that deeply grasps the mind, the body, and soul. Thank you all my peers and fellow ethnic studies graduates for being a community and doing this work. I want to add a few things, too. First of all, a few days ago, I was invited to the celebration and I met Trinity's family. Where are they? And while I was there chatting with people, I learned that the mother is also pursuing a PhD. So isn't it wonderful? Women who pursue PhDs, raising children who are graduating from college. Amazing. Kudos to you, Mama. Now, as my colleagues will probably agree, we're not just training the brain, but I personally like to tell my students I have an agenda which is to change your character. And Trinity, of all the students I've had here, I would say has been the most open. And as you know, it's not easy to ask for help. But Trinity were like, I'm not going to let you go. Go give me that help. You're going to do that, right? And I said, yes, I will. So I'm so glad and honored to see you here today. Thank you very much. Trevor is also an accomplished scholar. He was in my graduate seminar last fall, and this is what he would like to share. I am graduating with a double major in sociology and ethnic studies and a minor in political science. And I'm going to be, hopefully, getting a master's of social work at MSU. I'm the first in my immediate family that got a bachelor's degree. I'm thankful for my grandparents and mom who helped with almost everything during this time in college. Where's your family? As someone who was very close, and I still am very close to my grandmother who is passed, I thank all the grandmothers. Thank you and well done. Thank you. I call to the podium my colleague, Jennifer. Who?
So you may be wondering, why am I wearing the funny clothing? I paid a lot of money for the funny clothing back when I was teaching at UNC Chapel Hill and had to wear it all the time. And it's cold today, and I'm a pragmatic person. So it's my honor to call up to the stage Brianna Rose Parcell. Okay, so Brianna wrote some things, and I'm definitely going to read them to you. But before I read all the things that Brianna has written, I want to share just how remarkable a student and human Brianna is. Because I first encountered Brianna in my Intro to Social Justice class, which is a large lecture class, and so it's easy to just not be able to develop relationships with students because you really have to have students who choose to come to your office hours, and Brianna came to my office hours. And essentially what she said was that she, based on the things that we were talking about in class, got really curious, and she took herself to a bookstore and then bought the books. So she bought these books, and books that really are things that I would assign in a graduate level class, and then asked for more book recommendations, which I was really happy to give her because, by the way, faculty love giving book recommendations, just in case you're wondering. And then Brianna made me feel like I am not a total failure because she enrolled the next year in the very first class I've ever taught here at CU Boulder at the undergraduate level, critical race theory. That's right. That's right. Because there's nothing wrong with critical race theory and teaching it to undergraduate students. That's right. So when I have returning students in my classroom, I'm like, oh, I did not completely suck, right? And then they show the other students in the class like, I don't completely suck. So thank you, Brianna. But on a serious note, it has been my honor and pleasure to get to know you, to get to see the intellectual curiosity kind of grow and blossom and develop. And I'm so glad we get to be friends now. So, yeah. And then here's what Brianna wrote. My biggest accomplishment is having the courage to leave pre-med and follow my passion of social justice and advocacy. I realized, that's right. I realized that my desire to help people was not going to be fulfilled through medicine, but rather by working towards the overall well-being of all people. Ethnic studies has changed my life and equipped me for a life of helping others. My education from this department, the connections with my professors and peers, and making it to this stage, by the way, is this, Brianna, is this your family? Right, which can't happen without all of you and all of us. Are what I hold as my most decorated moments. Thank you to all who have supported, taught, and inspired me over the years. And now, can I call my colleague Jessica?
Hi, everyone. I am Professor Ordaz, and it is my pleasure to now announce our Ethnic Studies minors. So if I call your name, please come up and stay here for the duration. Emma Frazier. Jacob Gabaldon. Ruby Guardado. Mia Henderson. Emma Jones. And Juan Rodarte. We can give everyone a group round of applause. Thank you. I now want to welcome Dr. Avalos to the stage.
Hi, all. Good afternoon. As you could tell, I've been crying the whole time just watching this. It's so beautiful. So I wanted to present our scholarships. And if you're here, please stand up so we can recognize you. The Ella Cara Deloria Scholarship goes to Amari Terry. The Dr. George Rivera Social Justice Scholarship goes to Nidia Strom Salazar. The Carlotta Walls Lanier Civil Rights Scholarship goes to Yazkara Martinez. Is Yazkara? The Minoru Yusi or Yasui Community Leader Scholarship goes to Simone Arikari. So congratulations all. And now I'd like to invite Devin Encinias, our poet, to come up and share his beautiful work with you.
What's up, what's up? How we doing, ethnic studies? Yeah, boy. All right, we're gonna do a little call and response one time. You know, we're gonna start it off right. If you can hear me, say power. Power. I heard power. Power. Power to the students. Power to the students. Student power. Student power. I'm talking about power. 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 Power to the women. Power to the women. Woman power. Woman power. I said power. 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 Power to the people. Power to the people. People power. People power. Woo! They say, sir, blessed are the peacekeepers. I say, sacred are change makers. The rabble rousers, the harmony hunger strikers, beyond 9-to-5ers, loudmouth chain breakers, fence climbers, and archive deep divers. Luchadores, freedom fighters, it's hard throwing out backs, bell hooks, and haymakers, big survivors. The ladies and germs, the men and the verbs, nouns, pros, cons, and curves, the salted edge of the earth, the stage setters and those who rehearsed. I said it, he said, she said, the gays and the theys, the she's and the way that they sing, that's called reverb. Car rides to conferences, unchecked seatbelt buckles, shit shooting around over dinner and dessert. Oh, enemy of the sun, beaming down on your grandmother's wrinkled knuckles and the respect that they all deserve. The sister who sings, I went down to the mayor's house and I took back what he stole from me and I took back my dignity. The undergrads in tent cities with pit sweat stains under keffiyehs and titties, sunscreen shields like siege of Stalingrad, but this time of universities. The long nights and shaky hands with deep talks and crazy plans. Sunshine, school's out around this time. No complaints, just a list of demands, expectations, and a mission that's divine. Hey, Sosa. Let me tell you something. All I got in this life is beans and rice and Jesus Christ. So orale, pass me a tortilla and don't diss. Please be nice before you catch a Boeing whistleblower kiss to the back of the eyes. That's why I never leave the house without less than a knife, 'cause I don't play with something that you should cherish for life. Matter of fact, just relax before you react and end up going mental. For sacred are those who flip tables and tax collectors and chase capital out of great temples. So no me digas mentiras, Joe Fidio Díaz, porque yo soy chicano y tengo color. Puro chicano, hermano con honor. I see what you are and I know what you've done, just not what to do. As soon as I finish this test, I'll know when it's time for Empire's chickens to come home to roost. I've been on Farron Field smoking doobies with some cuties, talking hill money. Pero that imposter syndrome got me feeling funny. TikToks chismeando and never watching the whole movie. How groovy, how moving to be me. Walking far on my mother earth, no trouble man, no trouble none, no Marvin Gaye, not whatsoever, chewing chicle, blowing bubble gum, while some of her othered daughters and sons lay under the rubble, hungry for days with their mothers, scarred, sacred, forever. Lazo Kamati, que viva ethnic studies!
Wow, ethnic studies knows how to put on a little party, don't we? I mean, we got entertainment, we got food, all sorts of stuff. Joanna, Virginia, thank you so much again, and all of our student staff and support for putting on this production. This is just beautiful, amazing. But we got more, so I want to call Ari back to the podium. I've had the opportunity to work very closely with Ari over the last couple of years in the Laboratory of Ritual Arts and Pedagogies at North High School, the research we're doing at North High School and Manual High School. Ari was very instrumental in us installing a recording studio in Manual High School, and I just can't say enough about what she's done for this campus and for the Boulder, Denver greater community. So appreciate you. Thank you. Yeah.
Appreciate it. I'll give you a little. Hi, I'm looking forward to sharing 2 songs with y'all today. I'm going to start with an English selection, so there will be no translation really needed, but I'll take some time with the second one. The first one is a Billy Joel song called Vienna, but I'm going to switch the title up just because not all of us are trying to go to Vienna, I guess, you know, so. But yeah, go ahead. Child, you're so ambitious for a juvenile, but if you're so smart, then tell me why are you still so afraid? Sorry. Where's the fire? What's the hurry about? You better cool it off before you burn it out. You got so much to do and only so many hours in the day. Told that you can get what you want or you can just get old. You're gonna kick off before you even get halfway through. When will you realize the world waits for you? Slow down, you're doing fine. You can't be everything you wanna be before your time, although it's so romantic. Borderline tonight. Too bad, but it's the life you lead. You're so ahead of yourself that you forgot what you need. Though you can see when you're wrong, you know you can't always see when you're right. You're right. You got passion and you got pride, but don't you know only fools are satisfied?
take the phone off the hook and disappear for a while. It's alright, you can afford to lose a day or two. When will you realize the world waits for you? Why don't you realize the world waits for you?
I think there's a long outro. Sorry about that. Okay, cool. So this second one, ideally, I was hoping to have a translation up, but I can just give it to y'all before I go in. So this song is called Baraye. It is a protest song. Mom, don't look at me like that. You're gonna make me cry. It's a protest song for the Iranian diaspora, for the Kurdish woman that was killed in Iran, Mahsa Amini. So it's kind of sparked a movement, and a lot of the work I do in the rap lab and what we talk about with Dr. O'Neill and Kalonji and everyone there is how the movement has a soundtrack to help us remember. And I think that I just wanted to share this song. The title Baroye means because of, and so the song is going into why we resist, why we continue to show up in spaces, what is it for? And so in it they talk about all the things, and it's compiled of tweets of actual community members and people from around the world who have kind of offered what they feel is what they're fighting for because of what they fight for, I guess. So yeah, that's basically the lowdown on the song. So I'll sing that now. برای توی کوچه رقصیدن، برای ترسیدن به وقت بوسیدن، خواهرم خواهرت خواهرامون، برای تغییر مساک پوسیدن، برای شرمندگی، برای بیپولی، برای حضرت یه زندگی معمولی، برای کودک و زابلگار و آرزوهاش، برای این اقتصاد دستوری، برای هوای آلوده، برای ولیعصر و درختای فرسوده، برای پیروز و احتمال انقراضش، برای سگ‌های بیگناه ممنوعه، برای گریه های بیوقفه، برای تصویر و تکرار این لحظه، برای چشری که میخنده، برای دانش آموزا، برای آینده، برای ایمش اجباری، برای نخبه های زندانی، برای کودکان افغانی، برای این همه، برای غیر تکراری، برای این همه شعاهای تو خالی، برای آولین خانه های پوشالی، برای احساس آنها رامش، برای خورشید پس شبای طولانی، برای این همه شوهای تو خالی، برای خورشید بیخوابی، برای دختر که آرزو داشت پسر بود، برای زن زندگی آزادی، برای آزادی، برای آزادی، برای آزادی.
Well, that seems like an impossible act to follow. I had the pleasure of having Ari in my class in the fall and got to hear her sing, and so thank you so much for that, Ari. I'm what's standing in the way of you and food. So I'm going to try and be brief. Let me give you a mini introduction of me. Jennifer Ho, professor in ethnic studies. I direct the Arts and Humanities Center here on campus. But actually, the thing that I think is most important for you to know about me is that I'm the daughter of a refugee father from China and an immigrant mother from Jamaica, whose own parents were immigrants from Hong Kong. And I share that because I was born in Flushing, Queens, and I just, grew up in California. And the only thing I ever learned about Chinese in the United States was that we built the railroads. That's it, right? In high school, I learned Chinese built the railroads. But I never asked myself, and no one ever told me, what happened to the Chinese men who built the railroads? And why did my parents get to come here? So the 3 words I want to share specifically for our graduates today are roots, and I mean that in both R-O-O-T-S, like our roots that go down on the ground, our roots that connect us to our families, but also roots, R-O-U-T-E-S, the roots that we take to find ourselves here, the roots that you've taken to find yourself as graduates of ethnic studies at the University of Colorado Boulder. The second word I want to share with you is solidarity, and the third is joy. So what do these words have in common? For me, they are fundamentally what ethnic studies are about. Because it wasn't until I got to the University of California, Santa Barbara, and I took my very first Asian American Studies class, my very first year, that I learned about the immigration law that allowed my refugee father from China to enter into the United States, even though there were quotas preventing Chinese immigrants to come. And I learned about the Immigration Act of 1965 that meant my mother, who was a nurse and thus skilled labor, was given priority to come after 1965. From that one class, I learned that I needed to take other classes. I needed to take, and did take, Black Studies classes. I needed to take Chicano, it was called Chicano Studies at the time, right? Chicanx Studies classes. I needed to learn about Native American, indigenous people, and I also needed to educate myself about gender and sexuality. One of the most tremendous things happening right now is that we recognize that gender isn't a binary, that gender is fluid. I would say that in my career in higher ed, that's one of the most transformative changes, not simply about inclusivity, but about changing the way that I look at the world. And I am so grateful to all of the young people in my life who've helped me make that transition from thinking in binaries to thinking in terms of solidarity, because we are not free until we are all free. And I think seeing the encampments is really a reminder of that, right? And what ethnic studies also teaches us is that we need to use accurate terms. The mainstream media keeps saying the war in Gaza. It is a genocide happening. It meets the definition of genocide. We need to be unafraid to use words that are accurate. And we need to be unafraid to hold multiple competing, ambiguous things in with one another. And again, that is what ethnic studies has for us. That is the gift of being an ethnic studies major, an ethnic studies graduate. And when you are an ethnic studies major, you learn this history and you get angry and you feel despair. Because I've just introduced the word genocide to all of you. And what do we do? This is a marathon, it's not a sprint. It's not going to be solved by just one degree or multiple degrees or one graduation speech that you will all forget. But what is lasting is joy. Now, I remember I said faculty really love to give you book recommendations, right? This is a book by Ross Gay, who's an amazing poet and essayist and writer. And I taught this to my critical race theory undergraduate class because I think it is important for us to have joy as a practice in our lives. And joy isn't happiness, right? Joy isn't just easy and fun. Joy is about when you have, for me at least, right? And everyone can have different definitions, but joy is about that feeling of being united in solidarity with others or in nature, when you are part of something bigger. And that is certainly what ethnic studies means for me, and I hope for all of you. So the last word I want to leave with is Ross Gay, because he's a poet. This is the last, this comes from the very end of his introduction. My hunch is that joy is an ember for our precursor to wild and unpredictable and transgressive and unboundaried solidarity, and that solidarity might incite further joy, which might incite further solidarity, and on and on. My hunch is that joy emerging from our common sorrow, which does not necessarily mean we have the same sorrows, but that we in common sorrow might draw us together. It might depolarize us and de-atomize us enough that we can consider what in common we love. And though attending to what we hate in common is too often all the rage, and it happens also to be very big business, noticing what we love in common and studying that might help us survive. It's why I think of joy, which gets us to love, as being a practice of survival. Congratulations, graduates, class of 2024. Go forth and eat.